Do you use or like using marijuana or other THC products, but you're not a U.S. citizen? Well, you're going to want to listen today as we talk about how those issues could possibly affect you for the rest of your life. Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Peek with the Peek & Tolan Law Firm, and one issue that I see constantly coming through my doors is non-U.S. citizens. They could be permanent residents, they could be people here on student visas, people here on work visas who enjoy using marijuana. Maybe they're smoking it, maybe they are eating edibles or using other kind of THC products, and they can get in trouble depending on where they are. Obviously, they're now with the more and more states legalizing the use or decriminalizing use of marijuana, it's beginning to proliferate and more people are using it. But there are still states like here in Texas where it is still illegal to have marijuana in your possession or THC products in your possession. So what happens if you get arrested by the police, charged with a misdemeanor marijuana possession, but you're not a U.S. citizen? Can that affect you? Well, this is where there's a grand confusion. As you see one side of the law beginning to legalize things, you still have federal immigration law, which still views drugs, all illegal drugs, which includes marijuana under federal law, as a problem for immigrants, meaning you could get convicted and then deported. So it's important to know where those boundaries are. So federal immigration law says if you are here in the United States and you have one conviction, but it's for marijuana under 30 grams, you may be able to avoid becoming deportable. But here's where it gets confusing. Even though you may be able to avoid becoming deported, you're inadmissible because that exception for under 30 grams does not exist under Chapter 212, which is deciding who they let into the country. So you could literally be a permanent resident for many years, get a conviction for a small amount of marijuana under 30 grams, but if you stay in the United States, you're gonna be fine. You might even apply for citizenship. But the moment you travel to go visit grandma in Mexico, or you travel over to Europe to hang out with some friends and come back, immigration could deny you entry and place you into removal proceedings for being inadmissible to the country. So you need to know. And I've had a lot of people tell me, well, Jeff, I've renewed my green card since then. Or I've even traveled back and forth in and out of the country and nobody said anything. Well, just because you got away with something or it didn't cause a problem doesn't mean it's not going to be a problem in the future. So you need to be very smart. Anytime you have a drug charge or crime accusing you of possession of any drug, but even marijuana, you need to talk to an immigration lawyer like myself, especially one like me who dual specializes in criminal defense and immigration law. I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm a board certified expert because you can avoid big problems. I had a consult this week. Guy comes in, he's been a permanent resident since he was a little kid. As he grew up, he started smoking marijuana. He had various convictions along the way. He came to me the first time, we got it dismissed. Went to another lawyer a different time, didn't get dismissed, got convicted. Well, he had one then, but it was a small amount of marijuana. Then he gets another charge. The criminal defense lawyer doesn't know immigration law, the one he hired, doesn't give him advice. He takes that conviction and now he's got a problem. Now he's got two convictions for possession of marijuana. Now he's not only inadmissible, he's also deportable. Is he gonna be able to save his residence card? Maybe, but it's not a guarantee. So you just have to be smart about this, folks, okay? As we see more and more states legalize marijuana, and understand that immigration federal law has not caught up to the state law yet, and they still view that as negative. Now, if you're in a state where it's legal, you're in a different position. You're not gonna be convicted because it's not a crime anymore. However, under federal immigration law, there's other statutes that says if you're considered to be an addict, if you're addicted to a drug or alcohol, or if you admit committing the essential elements of a crime, you could potentially be inadmissible as well. So you're not completely free, although you're probably gonna avoid any kind of risk of being charged with a crime. You could still be found being addicted, so you have to be careful of that. At the end of the day, it's important to have an immigration attorney who knows how those two areas of the law intersect, and you can be able to talk to them when you have problems. Anyways, that's what's going on in the world of marijuana legalization and marijuana law and federal immigration law. Just be careful and make sure you don't make any mistakes that could leave you deported or in a big trouble or not being able to come back into the country or lose your visa, okay? Again, Jeff Peek with Peek & Tolan. This is Wednesday Immigration. It's great talking with you. We'll see you next Wednesday.